Okay, so last month, August 2013, I posted my very first to be read, TBR, to be read, that's what TBR stands for, to be read, list. I wanted to read 10 books. In August, I ended up reading 11 books. 11 books on top of me getting Pikmin 3 and Mario and Luigi and New Super Luigi U for my Wii U and 3DS. And those are games I've been waiting for a while. And I read 11 books in spite of all that. I know I'm going to get burnt out soon. And I'm probably going to, I sometimes take either between up to a week or even up to a 2-month break of reading. I don't think I'll do this time because I've never had this many books. I just got a whole bunch of books, like 65, and they cost a lot. But I got 65 books. I now have a book backlog, a really big one. It's not 65, but it's somewhere along there. 60 to 70, somewhere along there. And now I got a big book backlog, and all the books are books that I've really been wanting to read for a while now. But so, without further ado, let's go to the books I read for August 2013. This is my wrap-up video. I wanted to read Until the End, which was my last non-Spooksville, non-short story, or non-Witch World Christopher Pike book. I've read them all. This is, I think, my 45th, 46th, 47th book of his that I read, somewhere along there. And it was amazing. It was the first time ever that I've read a whodunit trilogy or series that was the same whodunit across the entire trilogy or series. Because there's some series that has, whodunits where each book in the series is a different whodunit, but this one was the same one. And that's pretty weird, especially considering it was a Christopher Pike book, and it was a lot slower paced. I kind of didn't like, because Christopher Pike, to me, is fast paced, boom, boom, stuff's happening every time. I mean, not action stuff, but just stuff, the plot keeps going forward, and a lot of times it seems like it just switched point of views to some characters that had no reason to have a point of view. But at the same time, I liked it just because it was different from his other works, more slower paced. And it was basically not just a whodunit, but the lives of the, I think, 5 characters that have point of views in this trilogy. And yeah, as you see, it's a huge book, 849 pages, I think. I mean, it's 3 books in one, because that's just 3 books that he really published in the 90s. It's, or it might have been late 80s, I'm not sure. It's a great trilogy, but if you're looking to get into Christopher Pike for the first time, which is, he's the best author ever, I recommend this book, The Starlight Crystal, and I read this back in January 2011 for the first time, and this is the first time that I've reread it, and I don't reread too often. I'm starting to a bit more since I've now read 275 books as of the recording of this video. It's only natural that I would want to go back. This is The Starlight Crystal, and this is probably one of my top 3, definitely, standalone books of all time. Probably, it's just amazing. The topmost quality a book can offer. If you think you've read a book that is fast-paced, think again. Because they literally have chapters that are half a page long. It is crazy how fast this pacing can go. I mean, let's see if I can... I'm not going to bother looking for this. But yeah, this pacing is just crazy fast. And it is one of the best stories I've ever read. It is Starlight Crystal. Recommended to anyone who likes reading books at all. So just to round out the Christopher Pike stuff, I also started the Spooksville series. This is number 1, The Secret Circle. I mean, you stupid. The Secret Path. The Secret Path. This is his kids series, so I figured I wouldn't be into it as much as his regular books. So I was hesitant to get into it, even though it's by my favorite author. And sadly, I was right. I'm not really as into it as much as pretty much any of his other books. But it is still just it's a pretty good series. It's definitely quite a bit better than any other kids book I read, which is not many, but still a great series. I plan to read one each month at least. I still got 11 of the 24 books that I have yet to get. I mean, I got about 11 more books. I only got actually 10 more books. I only got 14 so far. So yeah, what could be called my second favorite author, John Avedon Lindquist. I don't know how you pronounce it. This is the last Lindquist book that I have not read, and it was horrible. I read the other ones, Let the Store, Handling the Undead, and Let the Right One In. And, I mean, the last one that came to America. And now I got horrible. And another great book. All of his books are really, really good. Even his worst thing with Christopher Pike, his worst is still good. But the worst of Lindquist is a lot better than the worst of Christopher Pike. So all 4 of his are really, really good books. And I put this, I think, as my 3rd favorite of Lindquist books. I'm not sure which one's number 1, but number 4 I would say is Handling the Undead. It's just another great book. And I read a couple of series here. I wanted to read, this is volume 4, which contains books 7 and 8 of the Morgan Vampire series. I wanted to read just number 7, because I don't like reading too much of a series at once, unless I get burnt out of reading the same story. And that kind of happened with this too, because it's so big. But I read number 7, and another great installment in the Morgan Vampire series. And then number 3 in the Kitty Nova series by Kerry Vaughn, Kitty Takes a Holiday. And seriously, these books, I really like fast-paced books. These books are really good, fast-paced, and they're also unmasquerade, as the Wiki Tropes website calls it, where werewolves, vampires, and stuff, it's just at the end of the first book, or in the middle of the first book, starts to get known to the world. And I like those types of books. And that, along with fast-paced, and just each story is like completely different from the last one. It makes it feel completely different, and it's just really great. And some stuff that you would think would never happen happens, and some really bad stuff happened in this book. And I can't wait to see how it unfolds with the next Kitty Nova book that I'll be reading it next month, because I'm alternate each month between this and Morgan Vampire's book. I don't have the first book with me, but I wanted to read the Matched trilogy. I didn't want to read all 3 this month, but I wanted to read the first one. I did read the first one, and at the end of the month, once it arrived, I read Matched number 2, Crossed. I don't have the first one here. I forgot to grab it, and I don't want to get up. But yeah, I'm lazy. The first book was really great. Another book where the pacing was insane. But the second book, it kind of fell apart. The pacing for the second book really seemed like really slow. It seemed like the entire second book should have been just a third of the second book or something. But actually, right now, I'm reading Reached, which is number 3, and I keep forgetting to say the author's name. The author is Ali Condi, and the author for Morganville Vampires is Rachel Kane. I forgot to say that name too. I'm reading number 3 right now, and that's going to be in my to be read list for September. And the pacing seems to be pretty good, getting pretty fast again. So hopefully it's just the second book that's the bad one of the bunch. It's still a good book, but yeah, the pacing really slowed down, and I didn't like it. I read a few ebooks. Not too much to talk about them. I read one of the Kindle books that I got for free a while ago. I want to read all the free ones, at least all the free ones that are standalone and not part of a series where I have to actually buy the series. And that book was called A Woman Called Sage. I don't know who the author's name is. I don't feel like looking it up. I didn't really care too much for the book. I don't really like historicals. Maybe I would if there was a supernatural element or something, but I don't really like any historical books. But I got it for free. I wanted to read it since I got it for free. Since it was free on the Kindle shop. I mean, I didn't get it for free. No one gave it to me or anything. It was just free on the Kindle eShop. And yeah, it wasn't a bad book, but it wasn't really a good book. It was average. Let me tell you a bad book. I don't really like romance novels, which is kind of a shock how much I got into Matched, or at least the first Matched book, and hopefully the third. But I won a Goodreads first place. I didn't know it was erotica, but it was a erotica book. And pretty much when you win a Goodreads first place, you're supposed to review it. Well, you're not supposed to, but it's highly recommended. So I wanted to read through it, just to review it, and it took me, most books, I finished within 1 to 5 days. I think it took me 4 days to finish this, and it's 500 pages. I mean, it's a Lindergast book, so I'm really, really into them. I think it actually took me 4 days. I said 4 days. I think 3 days, or 4, somewhere along there. So I was really, really into it, because, you know, I'm into Lindergast's book as an author. Same with Pike, which this took 4 days, and I think this took 4 days, or 5 days. Yeah, it took 5, because I read like 17 pages the first day, and then like 50 pages the last day. So it really would have been 3 if I just would have, probably, or 4, if I would have just started the day after, because I started it right before going to bed. And this was like a 350-page book. The Injury at the Center is the name of it. And it took me like 20 days, I don't know. You can look at my Goodreads profile if you want to go back in my Wish lessons, find it. I don't care to look it up. It was a bad book. I mean, I'm sure there's people who like that type of book, but that's not me. I gave it, the first time ever, I gave a book 2 stars, and I usually rate books highly. I usually rate them 4 or 5 stars, or 5 stars, and then add it to my recent favorite list, which means basically 6 stars. But this book was just bad. And I read Emily Winsnap number 2. Emily Winsnap and the Monster from the Deep by Liz Kessler, I think is her name. And it's another kids series. It's a good series. It's not great or anything, but it's a good series, and I like it. I got the first book, I think, for free or close to it. I don't want to sell it a couple of years ago, and now I'm starting to get into the other books. I also got them earlier this year on a like sale. Like the first number 2 and number 3 of the books were like $3, and then number 4 and 5 were $5 or something, or just 4 was $5. But yeah. So I think that's it for this wrap-up video. I'm going to post my to-be-read lists for September tomorrow. I'll make sure it's tomorrow, the day after I upload this video, whenever I upload this video. And you'll see what books I plan to read in September. If you like this video, then please subscribe and be sure to check out my September to-be-read list coming tomorrow.